GenZ and Crypto, How Youngsters Approach Decentralization. Moderated by Gabriele Pauliukaite, DeHotel.
So good to see all of you today here discussing about investments of Generation Z. It's my pleasure to have all of you here speaking about this topic. My name is Gabriele. I'm going to be moderating this discussion. So maybe let's start simply by introducing each other, who we are, what we are doing. I can tell a few words about myself. My name is Gabriele, as I told. I'm a co-founder of Asset Management Tool. We co-founded with my partner a couple years ago. We are from Switzerland, and we made a few investments, of course, ourselves. That's why, I'm talking here today. So, please.
A couple of words about myself. Some of them already know, but I will repeat a little. So basically, my name is Matteo Gamberale. I am Italian. I'm the founder and CEO of Zappy, join Zappy.io. We're a decentralized application that will help Gen Z sell their data. And feels like a game, but it's not a game. So they can play and sell their data for a profit. They can watch video ads. They can play mini games. They can do whatever they want with it, and they earn our token in return. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cordelia. I own my own HR and recruitment consultancy within gaming and crypto. And really, I'm coming into this conversation from a people perspective. So super excited to be here and join the panel.
Hello, my name is Ognjen. I'm owning the company that is about investing in cryptocurrency. Also, I'm running Instagram marketing, and I have some online business accounts that are related to online gambling and casino. It is still not related to crypto, but it will be added soon.
Hi, good afternoon. It's a pleasure sharing the panel with all these experts. Really good. Myself, TJ, I work for Zonda Global, one of the biggest crypto exchange in Europe. They obviously work as a spot crypto exchange, and they also have Zonda Pay, which is making crypto accessible for everyone as a method of payment. So, that's it.
All right, super good. We have a very good people today talking. So let's start talking maybe, first of all, what is decentralization for you? You know, it's a big word. Sometimes it becomes buzzword. Everyone is like, oh, I'm developing something in Web3, and So what is for you, Matteo, decentralization, and how it's gonna change our lives?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I think decentralization is just a word that we're using now. I mean, we're not going to use this word in the future. It's like I see decentralization now, like Web3 and now like NFTs, right? We're not gonna use these words in the future because I think, it's like I always make his example. Like in the 90s, you remember at the beginning of the internet, we were all saying, "Hey, I'm going online, right? I'm connecting to the internet." So right now we're 24/7 connected. I'm not saying, "Hey, I'm going online to send a message to my girlfriend." I mean, right? You're already connected. You're already there. So I think decentralization is exactly that, right? It's the same concept. In the future, we're not going to use this term anymore. I mean, everything will be decentralized, and we're not going to even realize that.
Okay, so how do you see it's going to look like if we are not using this term anymore? So what is going to happen?
Well, we're just going to do the things that we usually do, but everything will be decentralized. And there's not going to be anything or, very, very less components of our life that will be centralized.
Yeah, it just becomes normal and no one brags to us anymore, right?
Yeah, and I have to agree there. It kind of feels like it's like a fad, a word that's just being used everywhere at the moment. But really, in the coming years, it won't really need to be so important anymore. And it'll just be something that we do and is part of kind of everyday life.
Any more thoughts on what is decentralization? Everyone might have a very different... Maybe it's already massively adopted.
Everything was like centralized. Like there were like people who were in charge of every application, on every like social media, there is the one person who is in charge. Here, like, no one will be in charge, but all people can like use it and relate to it. Like users of social media, that no one is in charge. People are in charge. That is like the meaning for me of decentralization.
Totally agree with all the speakers here, obviously. Decentralization, in simple terms, just giving power back to the people. Clearly, government just failed us over and over again. They cannot control inflation. They keep on printing money. Decentralization is there to help, and it's already helping millions and millions of people. Look at Venezuela, look at El Salvador, look at countries in Africa, countries in Asia. Their lives are changing because of this, and I totally believe, like what Matteo said, come 5-10 years down the line, decentralization won't be a buzzword, it's just an everyday word. So, yeah.
So another question, would you say that Generation Z is already ready for the mass adoption of a Web3? Or it's just, sometimes I just feel that it's in our, small bubble. Everyone, all of us, we are talking about Web3 and how great it is, but are we ready for this really, for the mass adoption, for everyone to come and invest into that? Well, how do you feel?
Well, personally, I think the next generation, the youngsters, they are more talented. Like, I'm the dinosaur in a crypto world. I'm in a blockchain industry. The next generation, they're 18, 19 years old. They understand blockchain, metaverse, Web3 better than I can obviously talk for myself, better than I do. And clearly that is something we need. And they're the one who understand this. They're the one who are going to have to educate the older generation. So if I want to learn about metaverse NFT, I will go to an 18-year-old who's building out an NFT platform because he can tell me exactly what is happening. Whereas me going to a financial expert or a blockchain expert who's, again, no offense, maybe 75 years old, probably don't understand to that extent. So I think they are ready for this.
Yeah, and I think, most 17, 18-year-olds now, they've spent almost their whole lives online around technology. It's different for people of kind of our age, where we've grown up also in a time where technology wasn't so prevalent. I got my first mobile at 14 years old, and I was actually one of the youngest within my group at school. Whereas now, one of my cousins on an iPad at 5, 6 years old, they know what to do. And I think that that's just the future of technology now, that we're moving so much further beyond where we've been before.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree with them. I mean, the thing is, Gen Z is the most tech-savvy generation that we have right now, and there will be they are ready. They are ready for this kind of mass adoption. I think the only key that is missing right now is education. I think if we're able to educate them in the right way, and if we're able to actually simplify the whole process, because again, we're talking about a very complicated process, right? And it's still, you got a wallet that is a 0x and hundreds of numbers. You don't have names for the wallets yet, right? So it's like, all of this will be simplified. And when you simplify this process, and if you educate them the right way, they're definitely ready for it, right? So that's exactly what, for example, we're trying to do with, and we will do with Zappy.
When you're talking about education, do you mean to educate the Gen Z who already kind of know stuff, or do you mean to educate some people who would like to enter a space? What do you mean by education?
So I think I'm talking about Gen Z now. I mean, the thing is, they're very, very easy to approach in this kind of terms. If you want to educate a 50 years old on crypto and maybe doesn't know anything about it, it's more difficult, way more difficult than approaching at 17 years old, right? Because they're more, they're addicted to technology. They were born into this this kind of world, and so it's definitely easier to approach them. But most of them, we're still talking about like a mass adoption here. So if we're talking about a mass adoption, crypto right now, the crypto adoption is not, cannot be considered a mass one, right? Yeah. So if we're talking about 90% of the entire world, in order to be able to get there, we need to simplify the process, as I said, and to be better in the way we educate them.
We started talking about education. There are any more thoughts
I
about
want
this?
to say something. because I'm Gen Z, and the crypto is like a relationship between the Gen Z and the older generations. It's something where the older generations want to like improve the technology and like make it simpler to Gen Z to use it. Like it's that, and it's like to help them secure themselves from the internet and everything.
Nothing much for me to add. I think the guys covered everything already.
Cool. Another thing what is very interesting for me personally, I hope you will find it interesting as well. I'm curious to see from your personal opinions how you see those more traditional brands should be responding to the Web3, to decentralization, to all the projects, initiatives that are coming up. How do you see that? Because all the traditional markets, all the traditional industries, they are super interested. We want to have some sort of exposure into this industry. We don't want to go full, let's say 100%, but yeah, we need that. So how do you see that?
Well, most of the major brands are already doing that, right? I mean, we've seen hundreds of very, very successful brands that were, having a lot of Web3 related initiatives. I mean, not last but not least, we've seen the Tiffany, initiatives with the CryptoPoints. That means something, right? I mean, if all the major brands are switching to metaverse, Web3 related initiatives, it means that that's the future. And thank God they're getting there. And we should focus on, making sure that everyone realizes it.
So obviously we've been working in the traditional financial sector for a while, and I totally believe all the other players, or the old players, how I call them, they're going to have to adapt to blockchain or Web3 or metaverse. So the famous example of this is Nokia. I'm sure here everyone used to have Nokia. The first phone was Nokia. My one was Nokia. And I remember hearing the interview, the Nokia CEO said, "We didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost." Exactly the same. Blockchain is developing, crypto is growing, metaverse is here, Web3 is just going to grow and grow and grow. So if the traditional players are not adapting this and making the relevant changes, they're just going to left behind. And from the industry point of view, so if I'm an investment house or a brokerage, if I can offer every single asset class under one umbrella to all my clients, that's a win-win. So why wouldn't I?
I totally agree with him. Like, I want to see something new. I want to see something exciting. Like, when you don't do new things, you're boring. Like, no one will use your brand anymore. Okay, you have age, you have everything, but like, it's boring. Like, Gen Z needs excitement. Like, with TikTok, with all the social media, like, people are like, trends, and only trends. Like, older generations want like trends and new things, and brand needs to cope with that and to follow the trend. And this is not only the trend, this is here to stay, and this is the future of internet, so brands should adapt to it.
And I think for me, from an HR and people perspective, it's super exciting to look with Gen Z and how that technology will help to not only recruit but also retain people. These are people who have lived all the way throughout with technology. So how can we then excite them to want to maybe come into an office, or do they want to work in the metaverse, for example? And how can you then facilitate that?
Yes, that's very, very true. I totally agree with what you are saying here. One of the last question actually, before that very last one. I'm in the crypto space for a couple of years, since 2018. And every year I hear a lot of talks about mass adoption. Now we heard a lot of things about DeFi, how DeFi is going to be massively adopted. How do you see this topic? What do we need to massively adopt, let's say, metaverse or NFTs? We are still not there, right?
Well, I mean, no, we're not there yet. We will be there. We're moving very fast. There's a lot of education, as I said earlier. I mean, we're talking about, millions of people, billions of people, right? So to be educated. So if we simplify the whole perspective of and perception of the blockchain itself, it will be much easier. I personally think that the next trend, we've seen DeFi, right? But we've seen Play to Earn. Play to Earn was the last big, like NFTs. We've seen them. I think the next one, will be Metaverse and all the applications that the Metaverse will have. And I think we're not too far from that kind of adoption.
I believe we're almost there, to be honest. The mass adoption is kind of happening. The groundwork has already been laid out. Now, look at it this way. Let's take Apple for an example. Everyone got Apple iPhones there. I can see one in front of my face here at the moment. So Apple, obviously the ecosystem, Apple App Store, Apple Music, Apple News, Apple Pay, Apple App Store. They're launching their own Apple NFT, and everything connected with your Apple ID on your phone. Add blockchain to the mix, and that's your ecosystem. That's your blockchain adoption there. There's over 130 million wallet addresses globally at the moment. There's over 1 billion Apple users. It will happen like this. Soon Apple enters the market. Same with Samsung. They're building their ecosystem. Once they're ready, billion people already on it. Done.
All right. Any more optimistic thoughts?
I think it's just really exciting to see in the next year, 3 years, how things are going to develop. As we mentioned, things are moving so fast at the moment from a technology perspective. It's just great to see what will be the next big thing.
Exactly, and it's quite hard to say what is the next thing. I wanted to ask actually you as well, like, what do you think is the next thing? But I think it's very hard to say, right?
Well, he said something very, very interesting, and I totally agree with you. The education can actually come from these big companies, right? I mean, we're talking about billions of users, right? And this kind of adoption can come from these big companies. So not only the metaverse, not only NFTs, but also AR, right? So Apple is coming with the AR glasses, and that's something that we don't even know what that means, but we will know right after they get out of with this kind of a device. That the next day there will be hundreds, thousands of companies developing things in AR.
Exactly. It's like if Apple gives you the option tomorrow on App Store, you can buy and sell cryptos. Done.
Yeah, right?
It is here. So, sorry, nothing to add.
Exactly. Love it. So the last question. A lot of people are leaving a space now, bear market. I know some people who have been holding a Bitcoin for many years. And we are so disappointed now because Bitcoin didn't go to 100K and said, I'm just going to sell out everything. I'm just too tired of that. What is holding all of you to be still in a space? Of course, you have some businesses, I understand, but what is it that drives you now?
Well, I said something earlier, and I'm going to repeat myself on that because I think it's very, very important. So I heard an NFT NYC, a speaker was talking about this, the fact that who's building in a bear market is actually going to become a blue chip. And at first I was like a little shocked by this by this declaration, of course. But it makes sense. It makes sense because, I mean, if you're holding and if you're building in this kind of a bloody market, and if you're able to survive this kind of market, you have very, very high chance to succeed. And the reason for that is that you're proving your concept in a market that is totally against you. Like every single player in the market right now is against Web3. So if you're able to survive this market, you have a very, very high chance to succeed.
From personal point of view, I think it's based on obviously the mindset and the mentality, how you look at it. And what is your strategy? Yes, some people you will speak to, they will say, oh, it's a bear market. I'm going to be very cautious. I'm not putting any more money in. I'm just going to sit tight on my current investment, which is fine, works for some people. The way I look at it, well, why don't you view this as, this is a Black Friday sale. You can pick up Bitcoin for $20,000. You were willing to buy the same Bitcoin last year, November, at 67,000, and you were saying, I wish I would have bought that Bitcoin at 15,000. Well, you kind of have the opportunity now. So the way you look at it, the way you look at the market, what's your strategy? The dollar cost averaging, now's your time. So if you did end up buying high, now's your time to bring your average down. So the way you look at it is really good, especially the bear market. It's not just all, oh yeah, I'm just going to sit tight. If you play it right, if you have a great strategy, and obviously if you do your research, you can really make the bear market works for you in the long run.
Good. Any more good investment strategies to share with everyone, or you want to keep it secret? I will understand that.
But from a trading, standpoint, I totally agree with him, like 100%. That's exactly what I'm doing. Not financial advice, but
Yeah. No financial advice is here. No financial advice.
Stay away from Luna.
Yeah. That's a good advice.
I also think like my generation see a lot of things on the social media. They see a lot of friends who have money, they post pictures with like expensive cars, expensive clothing, expensive things. They want to get the money fast, like we are living this life like really fast. Like just you need to work hard. If you want money, you need to study, you need to work hard, you need to build. And people actually don't understand that. People actually don't understand that, and they just like, I will buy the Bitcoin today, and tomorrow it will be like 1,000K, and it won't. Like you need to build, to wait, and to study, and that is the only way you will be successful.
this is the best time to build, right? I mean, what's best? What's better than a bear market to build? You can take your time and build everything you dreamed of the best possible way without rush, right?
I totally agree with you.
Exactly. Let's keep building together then. I want to thank you everyone who came here to talk, and everyone who have been watching this. So thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.